Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show where let's go ahead and get it out there, it's three old guys.
2 to 3.
I'm the youngest person in the room right now, and I'm still an old guy, so it's 3 old guys talking about old games. This week, Original Flavor Wednesday, we're playing through IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games. And we've arrived now at number 12?
I thought we were at 13. I thought Earthbound was 14.
Scrap it, start over.
No, this is good.
I think it maybe is it 12. Earthbound was
let me look it up.
no.
Did we play the wrong game? Uh-oh.
I think it's 12. I think it's 12. Secret of Mana is 11.
I'm pretty sure we're supposed to play Genesis games this week. We're on a different list now. We're at a number. It's getting close to 10.
Somewhere we're in the early teens.
On our last Monday episode, we played a whole bunch of calls. We didn't get to the call where someone called in. Spoilers, it's Michael from Two Dudes in a Nest, and said he normally listens to us at 1.5 speed, and then he accidentally hit the button to where he played us at just 1 speed, and we sounded really drunk. So I'm sure this is helping. But we're all
that's how I think.
We're all like bumping rails of ketamine. Please don't tell Tony. Please don't tell anybody that. That's why we're so slow when we talk at normal speed. It's that's a horse tranquilizer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Also a club drug, I believe.
I know what my intro story is. I'm your bespectacled host, and I've never been to a club ever.
But this week we are playing of whatever number. Josh is going to find it, and then I'll say it. Mm-hmm. But we're playing Mega Man X.
Wouldn't it be great if it was the 10th game? Because the X would be the Roman numeral.
That's what I thought it was for a long time.
Mega Man 10?
Because I didn't know how many Mega Mans there had been. I was like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so it's the 10th one.
It does make sense. Considering like you're playing all these Final Fantasy games that end in Roman numerals, why wouldn't Mega Man follow suit?
Yeah, but it does not.
And they're like, it's a big deal. It's 10, so we're going to change things up a little bit.
I think 10 actually came out, just a few years ago of the, the Mega Man series.
Yeah, I remember when 9 came out, but I barely played that.
I have them both, yeah. I didn't really play them that much either. I just bought them because I felt like I needed to.
9 has Splash Woman, is that right?
Yeah. Splash Woman.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun game. I sure as hell didn't finish it. It was hard.
But while Josh, you still...
Okay, Earthbound was 13. Did you guys call Earthbound 14?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Who knows? No one called us on it, Josh. Don't bring it up.
It is Earthbound 13, Mega Man 12. So you are right about Mega Man being 12.
All right, so
IGN's
12th ranked game, Mega Man X.
I'm going to love this if you skipped one.
I'm sure we didn't skip a game, Josh.
Final Fantasy 2 is 14. So I think we're good. But we're on 12.
Okay. We're on 12. Should be 10.
So Josh Nance is hosting with us.
I am Tadpog middle child, Josh.
Tadpog middle child? What's that all about?
Well, Tyler said he was the youngest. You're the oldest.
Oh, what?
I'm middle child.
Why you got to bring that up?
Well, I'm your bearded host, Tyler. Being, like I'd mentioned, from a somewhat strict Southern Baptist household growing up. I remember one of my mom's favorite stories is we were all over at my grandmother's house. I remember once or twice a week, my mom and her mom were very, very close.
Is this the grandmother that would steal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we would go over to her house, once or twice a week. We'd be over there all day long. And my aunt and uncle lived next door to her. So like I was on Scale Road with like my family, my dad's side.
With Onion Hand Woman?
Yeah. Also, not just onion ham, but onion toad, I found out later after I asked my dad.
After recording?
Yeah.
You talked to your dad about it? Or did he listen?
No, I asked him about it. He's like, yeah, that lady freaked me out so much when I was little. But Like the same kind of thing over one county over my mom's family was from. They
So
all
they all
lived
lived
on
on
a
the
road.
road.
Yeah. And a whole bunch of like 2 of my aunts and one of my cousins were over there the same day we were. And they were all sitting around the dining room table. And they had been watching, like my grandmother had no problem really cursing casually. She didn't mean, it wasn't a big deal to her. I remember she said something, because she was, ignorant ass Stefano. She had said something, and then like I turned and I ran to my mom, and like I got her attention. I was like, Mom, please, 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 just once, can I please say shit? and like all the family just turns and looks at me, and she's like, what? Mom, please, just I just want to say just once, just so bad, just please let me say shit. My other aunt just dies laughing at this point. My grandma's barely containing it, and my mom just kind of looks at me. That's a bad word. You shouldn't say that. I know. I won't again. I just want to say shit once. Just once, please. And it's like she's starting to laugh a little bit. She's like, okay, you can say it just once. So I was like, oh, I'm so happy. I just took a deep breath and just like, shit. And my whole family's dying laughing. So then I'm just like, shit. And Mom looks at me, but doesn't immediately say no. So I'm just like, shit. And then she smacks my butt, and she's like, nope, that's enough. You already said it. Oh, what about damn? Did I say damn once?
Is damn still on the table?
Man, I wasn't even allowed to say crap in my household.
Did you have to say crud?
I couldn't. No, I could say dang, and I couldn't say sucks. So crap and sucks were out.
Right out.
Yeah.
You could say motherfucker. It was weird.
My dad got mad at Tyler for saying gay once.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't watch the Smurfs. Yeah, it was one of those. I grew up in a pretty strict Southern Baptist household too. Yeah.
Because I got in trouble for watching Simpsons at your house.
Yeah. Yep. Simpsons were out of the question.
Simpsons were pretty controversial when they came out. That's crazy to think about.
I watched the Family Guy Simpsons crossover, and comparing the two shows, it's just like, why were people so up in arms about the Simpsons?
They really were. I remember when that came out. I remember that being controversial, and I remember like having an actual conversation with my parents where it's like, I really want to watch this cartoon that I've heard a lot about called The Simpsons. And they were like, okay, we'll watch it together, and then we'll decide whether or not you can watch it.
They had made up their mind before you even started.
They watched it, and they were just like, yeah, okay, I don't see what the big deal about this show is. That's exactly what they said.
I guess because it was just a cartoon that wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon.
I guess.
I don't know. I guess what else was out there at that time? Like Duckman? I don't know.
What was? Yeah. I think it was Clarissa Explains It All. I think there was an episode of that. I remember this pretty well. That she had gotten like grounded or something, and she was like, "Oh no, I miss The Simpsons. I'm gonna sound like an idiot in school." She's like, "You have to tell me everything that happened in The Simpsons last episode." And I tried to use that as justification.
Melissa Joan Hart, America's sweetheart, watches The Simpsons, Mom. and dang it, I want to watch it too. I'm tired of this crud.
Didn't work, but
Can you watch it now? Are you allowed to now?
yeah, Nicole really doesn't like.
Is it a touchy issue?
Nicole,
Like,
can I please say shit? Josh.
Shit.
every time your parents come over now, you put on like a Bart Simpson sweatshirt or something just to rub it in. I'm not under your roof anymore, Mom.
Do you guys remember the episode of Tiny Toon Adventures where everybody makes, like, Buster can't dance? Or like Buster has like this ridiculous dance style? I mean, that was the only thing I knew about dancing was that episode. So I thought how Buster danced was how you're supposed to dance. So I remember starting out in middle school, the first dance I ever went to, I danced like Buster in that episode.
Yeah.
Which is just like flailing around, just arms and legs and just kicking like this.
How long did you do that for?
20 minutes before somebody stopped.
Yeah, until the paramedics showed up.
Well, people started laughing, then I was like, okay, something's going on. Okay. Slow dancing, I'm going to do that and not do anything else. Okay, done.
I was there with you.
What's up, Internet? I'm your bespectacled host, and my favorite gift of all time was a sweater that my grandmother knitted me that had Bartman on it. That's no joke. I wore the hell out of this sweater, and I thought about this the last time we recorded, Tyler, because you were talking about making that, like, I call it waterbed runner art. with your dick leavings. And I used to get in so much trouble because like I never had a sweater or sweatshirt that just wasn't like the sleeves just weren't encrusted with dried snot, because that was I just constantly had snot, and it was just like just rubbing my nose. I'd come home, my nose would be just raw and red at the bottom, and my mom would get so mad because like every fucking sweater and sweatshirt, it was just like eventually we had to throw that Bartman sweater out. And I was so sad because she was just like, "What do you want me to do? Cut the sleeves off?" For a minute, I was like, "Yeah, this sounds pretty good."
If she would have lit you, your life would have went on a different path.
Yeah, probably.
You'd be wearing a Looney Tunes shirt, you know?
Yeah, I know. I would have gone to the dark side.
Did you ever get in arguments with your dad about blowing your nose?
No.
Like if you were like rubbing it, would he say blow your nose and like you didn't want to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My dad and I got a lot of arguments where he would just like scream at me to go blow my nose, and like I would cry, I don't want to blow my nose. I'm just, rubbing it everywhere.
I'm glad I wasn't the only like snotty kid. Like I had snotted a lot, man. And then I grew up and I realized that it's not cool. So now I contain it. I was just doing it to fit in.
So now we just see your arm hair is all matted down. With snot.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. What's up, Josh?
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
You got a sex story?
Well, yeah, I got a question for you guys. Have you ever jerked off in your car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever jerked off in your car while driving?
To completion, no, but yeah.
Yeah. And I did it in a car without cruise control. Mm-hmm. It does not work out very well.
Well, I did. I had cruise control, and I also had something very handy whenever you're trying to jerk off in your car driving.
Was that a masturbation pun?
That is
Mouth.
That is the techno remix of Speed Racer. It's the Speed Racer theme, like techno remix, and they have.
Wait, were you masturbating to this? Like, is that what?
Yes.
Was that like the?
Yes. No, I had burned the CD with. I had burned the CD with. That was one of the tracks, and it was like a porno techno remix because they had like
What?
they had taken what's her name, Tracy? Is that the?
I haven't watched much.
His
Speed Racer.
sister?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway,
I know they had a monkey,
it's
right?
like, yeah, they had a monkey. The monkey wasn't in it that much, I think.
The monkey wasn't his sister?
But no, they had taken like her audio where like it makes her sound like she's having sex, like just like moans and scream, and they've edited it like this. And
is this available online?
I don't know. It was.
We'll see.
Can this be my new ringtone?
It was in the year 2000, so maybe. But yeah, it really helped out a lot. It was made a lonely trip down the interstate a lot better.
Wait, I want to know where you were coming from and where you were going.
Oh, some things you just don't know. I think I was probably coming home from my grandparents' house.
All right.
Yeah.
And you were probably going to church, right?
Yeah, probably going straight to church.
Was this daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime.
It was nighttime.
Yeah.
Would you have done it in the day?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, if the mood struck me, I guess. I mean,
Felt like giving a trucker a treat.
Yeah. I was like 16, 17 at the time, so yeah, probably. Yeah.
Right on.
It's pretty good.
I remember the first thing I did when I got my iPod video was load it up with a bunch of porn and drive around and watch it.
Yeah, we all took that trip to Albuquerque together, and we were like
all jerked off in that car.
it was like it was like 23, 24 hours on the road. Yeah, it was just porn straight the whole way. Yeah, porn in the office. Yeah,
Yeah, we drove and jerked in shifts.
good times.
I remember going to sleep in Texas and then like going through a full sleep and then waking up in Texas, and that was awful.
Yeah. Driving the full length of Texas like
That was
the long
awful.
way. Oh, man. Well, Mega Man X?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's knock it out.
We jerking off to make a minute.
Yeah, we're jerking
Yeah,
off.
okay.
We're doing it.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know if there are any female bots in Mega Man X. I mean,
No.
at least you have Roll in Mega Man, but
I don't think there are.
you just have Zero's androgyny in Mega Man X.
But do robots have gender?
Yeah, there are definitely some more masculine.
But yeah, they can have masculine or feminine traits, but do they have gender? Do they identify?
Well, I mean, Splash Woman identifies as a woman.
Mega Man, I guess, identifies as a man, but
Yeah.
maybe that's a label that Dr. Light put on him. Dr.
true.
Light's like, I'm a man. I'm going to make a man robot.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Tony, let us know. Do robots have gender? Please. You're the only person I know who might know the answer to this question.
Dave, do you hear that?
Nope. I hear nice silence. I hear, oh. Someone's bumping some ketamine.
Yeah.
Listen to the speed racer on the interstate.
Oh, speed. Oh.
It's Josh, circa 2000. I do hear that. I believe that that's ushering in the Dave reads from Wikipedia Mach 5. Was that the name of this car?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, great. I want to watch all that stuff. Although every time I tried to as a kid, I was like, this is weird. This is weird. And I watched anime, and it was like, this is weird.
I watched Aeon Flux, and that was weird.
I watched The Max, remember that? And then I watched Speed Racer. I was like, nope, can't do it. A monkey and a kid in a trunk together? You know what's going on in there. Okay, guys, this article is about the series. For the first game in the series, see Mega Man X video game. Click.
Good call. Good call.
Mega Man X video game. Mega Man X, known in Japan as Rockman X, is a video game developed by Capcom for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It is the first Mega Man game for the 16-bit console and the first game in the Mega Man X series, a spin-off of the original Mega Man series that began on the SNES's predecessor, the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was first published in Japan on December 12, 1993, and then was released in both North America and Europe the following year. It takes place a century after the original Mega Man series.
Okay.
Mega Man X is set in a futuristic world populated by both humans and Reploids, which are robots capable of thinking, feeling, growing like their human creators, and assigning gender to themselves. So it's answered right there in Wikipedia.
Wow.
Not really.
Okay.
Because of these complex attributes, many Reploids are prone to destructive criminal activity and are therefore referred to as Mavericks. The plot of the game follows the protagonist, Mega Man X, or Mega Man 10, as we like to call him, not really, an android member of a military task force called the Maverick Hunters. With the help of his partner Zero, X must thwart the plans of Sigma, who is a powerful Maverick leader wishing to bring about human extinction. This is a really long article, so I'm going to go ahead and call it there.
There's a lot of weird lore all around the Mega Man X series.
In a weird timeline and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like Capcom got a little too caught up in its own fiction because that story and timeline just goes fucking haywire fast.
So, like, Mega Man, dies or something, right?
You don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because you do find, throughout the game, you find little throwbacks to the original Mega Man series. Like you find those capsules with Dr. Light has programmed like a holographic image of him projects. And
He looks like Obi-Wan from New
right,
Hope.
yeah. I think that other than that, that's really the only tie-in to... I mean, there's some similarities, like Zero and Proto Man are pretty similar.
They're both designed by Dr. Wily.
Right.
You find that out.
And Dr. Wily is kind of the, in a very indirect way, the one responsible for all the whole Maverick thing happening. You find out that was like a virus that he programmed into, I think it was into Zero.
Into Zero,
which kind of sparked this whole Reploids being evil thing. So.
Why would he do that? That doesn't seem very progressive.
Well, at Game Galaxy, there's that Mega Man fighting game where you can be Mega Man, Proto Man, or Base.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
One of the secret endings is Dr. Wily's in his lab and he's talking to Base. He's like, I'm not going to even need you anymore. Well, I'm the highest grade robot on the planet. What are you talking about? He's like, I have something that's going to blow you out of the water. I just have to finish it. And then he looks over to like this glass case. And you just see the shadowy silhouette of Zero.
Zero. Cool.
I just had an awesome idea. I think you should do a drunk history for Mega Man.
Well,
Just the way you were doing the dialogue for everybody, I just pictured this like animated and with your voice.
And Base is like, I'm the best robot on the planet. What are you talking about, Wily?
If you're listening to us at 1X, then you are listening to Drunk History of Mega Man.
Yeah, we could do an ambient history. But, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is like Mega Man X2 and X3. It's just like everything is cranked up a little bit. Like the graphics are cranked up. They're like better.
I think this is absolutely the best game of the Super Nintendo series of Mega Man X.
I haven't played. Wait, okay, so 1, 2, and 3 were Super Nintendo,
Right, I believe.
and then,
I believe 4 is PlayStation.
Okay, then I definitely agree because I haven't played 4 forward, but we've talked about 2 and 3 on this show before, and I thought those were pretty okay. But this game was a whole lot better. Like it looked better, it sounded better. Like the sound effects were better, the music was definitely better, and the game design I thought was better because the bosses did different stuff.
Yeah.
Like the bosses had personality, and you had to fight them differently.
It wasn't just jump on the wall and shoot. Yeah. As far as the design goes, there's a sequel-itis episode. It's like half an hour long. So if you've got time to watch it, definitely check it out. Well,
what is this? I'm not familiar.
You're listening to TADPOG, an hour and a half of us talking. So yeah, you've got time. So check out sequel-itis. He talks about he compares good design and bad design video games.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And Mega Man X is his kind of go-to game to reference what is a good design, and he talks a lot about the opening stage, how it teaches you the game without interjecting like a tutorial,
right?
Press right to walk, right? Yeah, it sets you up in these situations. Whenever we were playing earlier, I really after having seen this episode, I really can see what he's talking about. Like you fight those big, like what are they, like tank bosses at the very beginning of the game, and then they blow up whenever you destroy them, and they knock the platform out from under you, knock you down. So you
have to climb out.
Yeah, you're in this
confined.
pit, which this is a new mechanic for the X games. If you've played the Mega Man games, the original
Mega Man Extreme games.
Yes. This is a new
Mega Man
mechanic, the wall climbing, where you can jump off the wall, and you're put in the situation where you're forced to do this, but you
have to figure it out.
Yeah, you have to figure it out, and it's not hard too. You just go up to a wall and hit A, because the controls work really smooth. You just jump next to a wall, and you're jumping on the wall. You can obviously see there is something that you can do. And you just climb out of the pit and continue on, and it
is pretty brilliantly done.
And then they constantly test you on those things, like those basic things. Like that's pretty much what the game is all about, right?
Right.
Like,
it's not something you're going to use once and then forget about.
Right.
You're using these game mechanics all throughout the level.
they're there for a reason.
Or throughout the game. Yeah.
Because this was one of my childhood favorites. I loved Mega Man X as a kid. Because I think I told an intro story a long time ago that like my dad was angry at me because I wouldn't go outside and play. So in order to play Mega Man X longer, that I just jogged in place for hours as I played. So he wouldn't give me any shit about it. But I had my regular Nintendo for just like a few days before we took it back into a Super Nintendo. So I never
you guys got back home and you're like, wait, they got a super one of these?
It's coming out in a few days.
Box it up.
That's exactly how it was.
Cool.
So I didn't buy my own Mega Man. I missed the Nintendo Mega Man for the most part. Like I might have had like a cousin or a friend. We'd play like a level or two, but I didn't play a lot of Mega Man until Mega Man X. So this was my first experience in Jump and Shoot Man.
Yeah, I remember I played all the original Mega Man games with my neighborhood friends. I know one of them is a listener, Tyler Dunnigan. He's been on the show before. We used to rent all the Mega Man games from the movie hut, the local movie hut, and we'd all hang out and play through these. And they were really challenging. I mean, this is a challenging game, but that was Nintendo challenging.
The Mega Man games are a lot less forgiving than Mega Man X is.
I remember playing the first three, and I never beat any of them as a kid. And then later in life, I beat the first one. And then I don't think I've gone back to play the second or third. I don't know if I've beaten really any Mega Man game other than the first one, and then this really weird port for the PC, because I had a PC. As a kid, and I always wanted to play Mega Man, and I would have to rely on like friends down the street or whatever to play. So I guess my dad felt bad for me and got me Mega Man on disc for DOS. It played like a Mega Man game, but like I don't know, it wasn't like a port. It was just new material, and it was really weird because it had like it even had the helmet robots. I don't know what they're called, but
Robot
the ones
Masters.
The hard hats.
Yeah, the hard hats.
Mets. Yeah, I looked them up earlier. Yeah,
because it's like you were talking about them earlier when we were playing X, and it's like
that's one of my achievements.
they're in every fucking game.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, they the only Mega Man game that I haven't beat is the one that was released. I think there's actually a couple of them. I think it's 9. Whatever one Splash Woman is in.
There's one and there's one after that one. I think there's 9, like 9 and 10.
I think it's 9 and 10. Yeah.
I really, man, I need to catch up. But I've beaten all the Robot Masters. I just can't finish those final stages. Man, those are brutal.
Do they have? Is it because of like the boss gauntlet, the Robot Master?
Well, no,
gauntlets,
it's not the boss gauntlet. It's set up. All the Mega Man games, even the X games, follow the same progression. Because you have all the level select, all the Robot Masters to choose from. You beat all those, then you get to go to for the Mega Man games, it's Dr. Wily's castle usually. For the Mega Man X games, it's wherever Sigma's base is.
Do you think?
And it's not the Robot Masters, it's the other, like the robot bosses that don't really fit in, like the ones that take up like the whole screen that are just ridiculously challenging. Like in this game, Mega Man X, the spider robot, man.
Yeah, that's the hardest boss in Mega Man X is this fucking spider boss. It's after we beat the Robot Masters. I think he's harder than Sigma.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first played this game, because that first level, the first intro level is, of course, it's well done teaching you to play the game. Then it sets everything up because you see the ship come down, you see Vile come down. So this robot inside another robot and just kicks your ass. And then you're saved by Zero, who is the leader of the Maverick Hunters. And he's telling you, you'll eventually get stronger and become as strong as I am. And immediately I thought Zero was, and when I was little, I saw Zero, I was like, man, that girl is a badass.
I thought I just learned like maybe 10 years ago that Zero was identified as a male gendered robot. Because Zero, we probably talked about this on both X3 and X2, but like Zero looks like he has long blonde hair. And
Has like a chest piece.
Yeah.
Large chest piece, small waist. Yeah, it's kind of, you know. But I mean, it's when you see like his laser sword come out and his blaster's more powerful, like I thought Zero was amazing. And then playing through the levels and trying to find, when I found out there was armor upgrades, because whenever you guys played it, what level did you first start out at? What was the first level you played?
I never know where to start, honestly, in any Mega Man game. And I get frustrated because it's like, I'll start a level and I'll get to the level and then I'll get to the Robot Master and be like, oh, well, okay, I wasn't supposed to come fight this one first. But I usually pick the Robot Master that I think looks the lamest, because I'm like, that one I can probably beat. So the first time I played it, I think, Spark Madrill.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what a Madrill was. So I was like,
a
whatever.
mandrill.
Mandrill, yeah.
Because I immediately went for Chill Penguin. I don't know why, but I feel like I happened to choose right the first time because his stage is easy and he's the only armor upgrade you just find in your path as you go along. And you get your speed boosters that make you sprint and jump. That becomes Mega Man X's sort of iconic equipment. Like, you don't have to find it from then on out. That's the only piece of armor he always has for the rest of the games, is that speed boost. But then Chill Penguin has an easy pattern. So then when you get his weapon, I feel like I just happened. So I didn't know if either of you were drawn to him first for some reason.
No. He looks like a penguin. You know, like some of the Robot Masters don't look like the animals they're supposed to look like, I guess. But like, he straight up does look like a penguin.
Penguin with like armor
Even
on.
slides on his belly and everything.
And he breathes ice like penguins do. So, I mean, there's that.
He can make ice clones of himself like penguins do.
They really nailed the penguin aspect, I think. Pretty good. And then, you know, he jumps up in the air and pulls the rain machine handle, and that happens. It starts raining.
But this, because we played through this game just a little bit earlier, and I feel like it still retained a lot of what I enjoyed about it when I was younger. Like, it's still a good game, still controls well, but there are just these Mega Man tropes that are just super annoying, and they're universal to like all Mega Man games.
What tropes?
Well, let's see. The boss always having like one, you always do like an odd amount of damage to the boss, so they'll have like one health bar left. One health bar. but they'll always manage you.
One little tick.
You
and
very
then-
rarely have one left. They
Yeah.
always kill you when you have like a fourth of the hit your bar left. And that always is. I feel like I don't know how they do that so well. Like every time I play this fucking game, I run into that so many times.
Well, it's got to be math, right? Like, I mean, they got to figure out, like, okay, well, this guy has 30 ticks. So, and we know that Mega Man's Buster does, 5 or 4 points of damage. So there's always going to be a remainder. And then, I mean, you're probably right. They probably design it that way so that it creates some tension. It's frustrating as hell, though.
Yeah, but I mean, whenever you were playing it earlier, there were some really tense situations where we were actually, whenever you killed the robot master with just like 2 health bars left, we were cheering.
Yeah, it was Spike Chameleon or something like that, right? Or Stinger. What's his name?
Sting Chameleon.
Sting Chameleon.
Like yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty tense moment where it one hit either way. So yeah, I mean, if they did it intentionally, I think that good on them, really.
I think it is. I think it's intentional. I do think that it is. I mean, I thought it was exciting, but I can imagine probably a little frustrating for you, Tyler, playing.
And in the X series, farming to fill up your sub tanks is just like that's the worst part of any Mega Man X game.
That's my biggest complaint about this game. Is that is boring because explain that mechanic a little bit.
Because you can find up to 4 backup health tanks. So whenever yours is done, you go to the backup tanks and drain it and fill up your regular health bar.
They're like potions for robots, right?
And the only way to fill that up is once your health is full, find more excess health that will then go into your sub tank.
And you find those off of regular robot enemies.
Yeah, any robot can drop one.
So yeah, I mean, and that's from really exploiting one of the tropes that a lot of video games of this era have. It's the enemies will spawn continuously, but always off screen. So if you can figure out exactly where this enemy is spawning at, you just back up a little bit, have the camera roll back, so it's off screen, move forward again, and the enemy's there, and you can just continuously kill them until you get the drops you need, which is a pretty annoying trope from my point of view, because that fucks up a lot of the platforming when enemies are spawning and then flying at you just from right off screen.
Yeah, something always knocks you back. Like you clear an area, you clear a platform you have to jump on, and then something flies at you and knocks you back, and then you move back to the right, and now all of a sudden everything's back. You clear it again. Guess what? That thing comes flying at you again.
But at least one thing I'm glad that has vanished from Mega Man to Mega Man X is in Mega Man those disappearing
Yep, the platforms.
blocks.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, I'm very glad they got rid of that. And one thing I have to say to Mega Man X2's favor instead of X is that to fill up sub tanks, there are spots in levels where you can go and basically one shot fill up a sub tank.
Yeah.
So they fixed this later on.
Yeah.
I think it's just the biggest black eye that Mega Man X has, is having to constantly refill these sub tanks.
I think that was the whole disappearing platform things. I think they figured that out pretty quickly because in the original Mega Man games, they started introducing Rush, which was your dog, your robot dog. You could call in and have him give you like a super jump or whatever. You jump on him, he springboards you up. And then they started adding more abilities onto Rush. Like all of a sudden now he's a jet and you can fly across the screen on him. And it was to avoid these obstacles with these disappearing platforms.
And then eventually they were like, hey, it'd be easy if we just got rid of these things.
No one likes these. They're super frustrating.
I think they brought them back in the most recent ones, like because I know there's some in Mega Man 9.
There are. Because there's a Lava Man stage at one point.
That's the stage. Guess what stage I quit on?
Yeah, what was it? The cabin party? I was watching you play one of these, and I just watched you for like 2 hours on this one screen with the disappearing platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I don't like to give up on things, but I gave up on that.
Because you're just sitting there like grinding your teeth, and I was sitting next to you watching, and I had to go get up and go do something else because it was making me frustrated. I was like, this is driving me crazy.
So there's none of that in X. So that's good. That's really good.
And I feel like X, because I feel like we've talked so much about Mega Man with X3 and X2.
Yeah.
There's hard to say a lot about Mega Man X besides that it's better.
It's
a lot better.
It is better, and I think like it's better just by design because the enemies are the robot masters, the bosses in the game aren't easy. Their patterns they take a while to memorize. It's like you said, Josh. It's not just jumping over them or dashing under them and shooting and then switching. And then I honestly think this sounds so much better than the others. Like the music in this is wonderful. I love the music in this game. It's great.
It is a challenging game. And each robot master does have their weakness. There is an order to fighting them, but it's not essential. Like I feel like in the later series, they almost make it essential for you. You have to have that robot master's weakness to progress. In this, pretty much any robot master is beatable with just Mega Man. It may be a little more challenging, but it is doable.
Which robot master did you guys think looked the coolest? Because that means a lot to me.
Oh man, look the coolest.
Which one looks the coolest? When you saw the robot master for the first time.
What is it? Flame.
That's pretty good.
Flame
Mastodon.
Or Mastodon. Yeah.
Maybe it's Mammoth. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, it's Flame Mammoth.
Flame Mammoth. Okay.
You think?
Yeah.
I didn't like Flame Mammoth.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked him. I think I liked him, but I think he made an initial impression on me. I remember because whenever I first played Mega Man X, I went from Mega Man, where all the robot masters are pretty much your size,
Right.
To this, and then I see Flame Mammoth, and he is huge. So I think that was just you do fight room-sized bosses in a lot of Mega Mans, but yeah, I think I wasn't expecting it whenever I fought him.
You got to go Storm Eagle. I'm thinking Storm Eagle. Storm Eagle.
Armored Armadillo, man.
Yeah.
Armored Armadillo.
See, Armored Armadillo, if Armadillo wasn't in his name, I'd be like, is that a beaver? Or what is that thing? Because all the robot masters are wearing armor, right? So it's just kind of like, that could just be anything wearing armor. It could be a squirrel or...
Because like him, he crashes through the ceiling and he's super defensive and he rolls in that ball and smashes everywhere. But I also think the Chameleon. The Chameleon looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the Chameleon
but he was
does
my
look cool.
nemesis as a kid, though.
He's a hard robot master to beat. I don't think that I've beat him before.
What do you think this says about us? Like, can somebody psychoanalyze our favorite robot masters and tell us?
Tony, let us know.
Yeah, let us
Psychoanalyze us, please.
let us know what our deepest, darkest fears and twisted fantasies
Chemists
are.
can read
based on
minds,
our-
right? Let's do that.
Yeah, they have to. That's part of the chemistry test. Before they give you your chemistry badge, you're like, what number am I thinking of?
But let's see what Chill Penguin, Flame Mastodon, Spark Mandrill, Launch Octopus, Armored Armadillo, the Eagle.
Storm Eagle, come on.
Storm Eagle.
Not the Eagle. Well, I guess he is the Eagle.
The Eagle, the Chameleon, and Boomerang Quanger.
Yeah.
Gotta say it more country.
I always thought, I was like, am I just
Quanger.
being super southern? Like, Boomerang Quanger. I come in, throw my boomerang at people. Am I an animal? I don't know. Am I? Do you know what a quanger is?
I looked him up.
Okay.
Because I had no idea. So I had to look him up. Kuwagata is a kind of Japanese stag beetle. And that's what he is. Oh. He is a Japanese stag beetle.
Oh, okay.
That's why he has
So, like,
that boomerang thing coming out of his head.
mandibles?
Because it's like,
Yeah.
beetle's mandibles.
Okay.
So there you go. I would have no idea.
That did
None.
not translate very well.
None. I would have no idea. I don't know why they didn't just call him Beetle Man or something like
I thought he might have been like a cowboy, like the horns. He just takes them off, throws them at you.
But yeah, apparently he's a Japanese stag beetle.
But let's see, you beat all them. Then we talked about the spider boss because you go through and spoilers. I mean, we talked about X3 and X2,
Yeah.
so you fight through. Vile beats Mega Man again, even when you're find all your health tanks and all of your extra lives and all your upgraded equipment. He still kills you, no contest. Battle you have to lose.
Because he's in the indestructible giant robot suit.
And he looks like Boba Fett. So he definitely has the upper hand. Anyone you're gonna fight with anybody who looks like Boba Fett, they probably are gonna win.
Especially Django Fett.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
Django Fett.
So then Zero sacrifices himself by self-destructing on the indestructible armor to destroy it, and then you kill Vile. Mm-hmm. And then if you didn't get the upgraded blasters, Zero then gives you his. So even if you miss that one, you get that one for free as well. But then after that, basically you fight a few of the robot masters again, and then a end boss that is the huge
The boss gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well, it's another trope for at this point. It's a given.
Yeah.
That you're playing a Mega Man game. You go through the boss gauntlet at some point.
You're gonna fight those bosses.
But
again.
this one, transitioning from the Mega Man series to the X, they do switch it up a little bit because there is a distinct pattern to the bosses that you fight. You're actually going through a stage, and you get a little bit of a rest in between. Where I think in the original Mega Man games, you were just at this one screen.
Yeah, it's a big room.
Yeah, you teleport. There are different teleport pads. You go to one of the robot masters. Yeah, but this one, yeah, you're going through like a whole stage.
Hit the platform a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
And I think they do that because of what we talked about earlier. They want to give you a chance to fill up all your energy tanks.
Yeah.
Which is I think that's the only reason you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of it gets it's a nice thought, I think, but that's what it does turn into is you beat a robot master, use a couple energy tanks, go to that little in between platforming stage where you fight some enemies and just grind.
And it's take
there
forever killing them
until,
over and over again. But one thing I do like about Mega Man X is that depending on what robot boss you beat and the order in which you beat them, their stages will change. So if you go to like Spark Mandrill first, everything's on and active and sparks going everywhere. But if you fight, I don't know what the condition is, a different robot master first, then come there, the power's all out.
That's what I was gonna ask. Does the Mandrill not know how to pay bills? What's going
I
on?
don't
Because it was
know.
like it was dark there, and then every now and then this like angelic robot or something would fly across the screen with a little bit of light, and then the light would come on.
And then say if you beat Chill Penguin before you fight Flame Mammoth, then instead of everything being on fire, it's all covered in ice. You can just basically stroll through the level.
I think that's really cool. I didn't know that. I think that's really really cool. It's like conditional levels.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
I guess, yeah, if you, depending on what part of the city you shut down, it affects other parts of the city.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that mechanic. Do they don't do that in X2 and X3? I didn't notice.
I don't
'cause,
recall that ever being a thing in the others.
Man, I feel like that's a really short. That's a big shortcoming because that's an awesome concept. I like that.
It's probably an easy thing to overlook.
Yeah. I wouldn't notice, right? I mean, it's one of those things where,
Right.
like, unless I played the game, probably, let's face it, I probably wouldn't even notice a second time.
So
But
I imagine the level designer is like extremely proud when this gets released. He's like, "This is a great idea.
Everyone's gonna love
I
this."
can't wait to the feedback." And then like nobody comments on it.
Well, see, I didn't know about the Flame Mammoth one for a long time because I always fight Chill Penguin first. So I was like, I guess they don't like this robot master because he's stolen all the fire out of everywhere else and kept it in his own room. When I just had no idea, I just beat Chill Penguin first.
Awesome. No, I love that. I didn't know that. That's really, really cool.
And then let's see, I guess the upgrades, because you can get armor, which makes you take half damage. Of course, you get your boosters to your speed and to your blaster and the helmet upgrade.
Yeah.
I feel like in X1 and X2, they were just like, we don't know what to put on a helmet. I don't know, make it really hard so we can bust blocks that look like they're bustable. And then the other one, make it show you secrets whether or not you want to see them.
Give them a shitty map.
Yeah.
I'd rather be able to bust blocks than get a shitty map.
Yeah, because overall, I like it except for the helmet. I really like the upgrades in X. And of course, and if you get all the sub-tanks, all the upgrades, all the heart containers, then that unlocks where you can get the Hadouken. Yeah, I've never gotten it. I know Sean McElwain of Contra fame has. He always gets those moves. He is the best Mega Man player I know.
How do you get it? Is it like the gold chip in X3?
I think once you get everything, in Armored Armadillo's level, if you can ride that platform, you can ride it way up and do like a special, a jump to get way up there, and I believe that is where the capsule will appear.
I see. So you get it from the capsule, Dr. Light capsule.
Yeah, if you have full health, full everything, he will then spawn that capsule up there.
And I've never gotten it. I haven't really. I think I may have seen it at one of the cabin weekends. It one shots a boss. Is that right?
Yeah, one shot's anything.
Yeah, even the final boss. Yeah,
And you do you have to be at full health to use it?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. That you can only use like once per screen, maybe something like that.
That's pretty cool. I like that that's one of the things that I like about Capcom is, even like in the Dead Rising games, especially in the Dead Rising games, they always do callbacks to other Capcom games. So I love it when they do that. They're very, they're kind of free-spirited with their properties. I think it's pretty cool.
let's see, go back to that stupid spider boss that will run down chains everywhere at ultra speed. Your timing has to be just right to hit him in just the right spot with just the right weapon.
Hardest boss in the game.
Super frustrating.
Hardest boss in the game.
But then you go from that to, more boss with the boss gauntlet, a giant face robot that...
You got to have a giant face robot. I mean, what are you going to do if you don't have a giant face robot?
Like, I think I might have gotten hit like twice. Like, it's what were they thinking going from spider boss to this? And then, of course, more boss gauntlet, and then you fight like a 2-part dinosaur. Nicole wondered if it was like a bumper car because it's got like a dinosaur skull on top,
yeah.
and then it'll try to crunch down and move over the screen. It's also very, very easy.
I got a really important question. We kind of glossed over the spider a little bit, and maybe all the scientists out there listening could probably shed some light on this. Is the robot spider the most efficient spider to make? Because that's the spider that we see the most of. I feel like that's always, if it's a 90s video game, it's either going to have lava or it's going to have a robot spider boss in it. Because it's like, how many fucking robot spiders have we fought playing this list? A lot. A fucking lot of them. Is it a space shooter? Guarantee you there's a robot spider in it. I guarantee you there is.
And it's still this game also the trope of enemies using their babies as weapons.
Yeah.
Why do I see this constant? Like the Storm Eagle does that?
But he doesn't throw an egg. I noticed. I noted that because I was waiting for it. I was like, well, he's a bird man. There's definitely going to be an egg involved. He just regurgitates live robot birds.
Well,
and then the spider chucks them baby robot spiders at you.
Well, you're a father, Tyler, aren't you? Don't you ever get the urge to throw
when someone
your
robs
baby
me?
in?
That's it. Yeah, I'm just picking up. Kenna buy her socks and just sling her like a flail and just.
You view the world differently now. You see more defensive options.
I see. I was all about the defense, but now that I'm a father,
Yeah.
I see the offensive potential of baby.
Of having a child.
And then the last boss is just like a Ninja Warrior style straight climb up to Sigma, which the story being that Sigma was Dr. Light's creation, got infected with the Zero virus, and he and Zero essentially swap places. And Sigma being the more powerful one then becomes the worst thing that's ever happened to Earth, him being a bad guy. And he has a Jedi green lightsaber. Laser sword.
And he looks like Krang's body. Because when you beat all the robot masters and then his big old face just appears in the middle, I was like, damn, you can go fight Krang's body.
I thought because first he sends his dog after you. His dog's pretty easy. Sigma form sucks, really sucks, and then
Like it's difficult.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
really difficult.
He jumps around the stage and he swings the laser sword.
The
at
green
you.
one.
Yeah.
So he is the good guy.
Right. Yeah. You're busting into his home. You kill his dog. Yeah. But he swings the laser sword and it takes a good chunk of your health away. By
About
far.
half.
Yeah. Even with the armor, the 50% damage reduction armor. Yeah. It'll just slice through you. So yeah, I saw Tyler die many times earlier.
He does the whole Bond villain thing too, where he's like, you stroll up there, you Ninja Warrior your way up there, and then he's there with his dog, and he's like, my dog is gonna take care of you. Don't let me down. And then he disappears. Or it's like, why don't you and the dog fight him? Like that.
I could
be an
kill
option.
you if I wanted to.
man, this robot
But-
dog is so expensive. But man, I don't want to put
The
him
upkeep.
down. I'll send him to Mega Man.
Get him, boy.
And then the alternate one where the dog comes back with Mega Man's just arm. He's like, fuck.
Damn it.
Is Zero still alive? No, Zero's dead too. God, I'm stuck with this fucking dog. The robot ASPC all up my ass. But then his last form is you destroy his body and his head floats up into a giant machine that fills the whole screen.
Yeah.
And it fills the whole screen with slowdown because there's just so much shit going on. So then I hate this. It's almost like a small miniature level in of itself because he has all this moving machinery. You have to
Because like he's got paws, right?
Yeah.
Like he's on a
Right.
giant. Like his head is now on a giant robot dog.
yeah.
Which this one is definitely more expensive to upkeep. So I think your theory actually holds water because he had two dogs. He had a smaller one and a giant one. And he's like, you know what? I want to keep the giant one. Let's just off the smaller one. So like he attaches his head to the giant dog's forehead. So now he has these giant paws, right? Like there's a giant paw on the right hand side of the screen and a giant paw on the left hand side of the screen.
Yeah, and
They
they've got
shoot
spikes
lasers
and they
up
shoot lasers at you, but you
Yeah.
have to use them.
You got to jump on them like
as a
their
platform,
platforms.
right.
So it's a shitty end game boss. I like Sigma's final form in X2. I feel like was cooler and better.
Yeah.
So overall, I like X1 is a lot better. X2 did have some improvements.
Man,
a lot of detractors, but it had like a few improvements.
I'm really glad that you explained his head, Sigma's head, floating up and attaching itself to this robot, because I was thinking as we were playing this game tonight, like all the power-ups, right, looked like these really abstract pieces of pixels, right? I mean, an energy tank just kind of looks like a blue box, right? And then you got like these light bulb-looking things that are white, and then you got these like blue pellets and shit like that. Everything's very abstracted. And then, except for the one-ups, because the one-ups look like Mega Man's head. So, like, I actually think like there's some canonical things going on, because it's like if you kill an enemy, I feel like it's an intimidation tactic where like you kill the enemy, it's like, you killed me, but we got one of you, fucker, and they throw a decapitated Mega Man head at you. Beware.
We've done this dance before, Mega Man. Don't you remember? His rolls out Mega Man heads.
Like you start taking sanity damage.
Oh man, that just reminded me of, I think it's like deviant art painting or something.
Oh boy, do go on.
Yeah, of Mario, Super Mario, and it shows
What's he fucking?
It shows what's under the pipe, or like in those bottomless pits that you fall in.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of mangled Mario bodies.
I love that. And you said DeviantArt, so I just automatically assumed it was like Mario fucking a raccoon or something.
I don't know what you look up on DeviantArt. But.
Yeah.
Look, I would love to like go back in time and like tell someone who's browsing DeviantArt, hey, one day legitimate artists are going to be on here showing work. I realize that right now you're looking at Mario dressed like a frog fucking a chicken, but in 11 years, there's going to be some art on here that might be worthwhile.
When all these 12-year-olds grow up, it's going to be good art. I feel like that's good for Mega Man X pretty solidly.
Yeah.
That's Sigma. You beat Sigma, game over. Mega Man is just, I believe, in the end, he's setting in like the original city, having saved everything. Now he's worried about what's next, and you get a hint that Sigma's not really dead. Of course, Sigma's never really dead. We find that out throughout the whole series. And Mega Man X7 and beyond, fucking can't get rid of Sigma.
Well, it's like, what's the deal with Dr. Wily? I was going to ask that earlier, because it's like in the original Mega Man games, is Mega Man like Batman? Like, and Wily's his Joker. He's just like, he gets to the edge and is like holding his Mega Buster at him and just doesn't pull the trigger. Like, what's the deal on that?
I think in Mega Man, that is essentially their relationship.
Yeah.
But he's never, like, Dr. Light is mentioned, but I don't remember any instance of Dr. Wily being talked about in the X series.
Yeah,
Is it like the first law of robotics or whatever? Is that like
Yeah,
what
you can't-
like
yeah,
stops him from killing Wily?
Yeah, they can't harm humans. Yeah, that's like
Is that
their
it?
whole thing. Yeah, they Reploids can't harm humans, except I guess the ones that Dr. Wily programmed to be able to. But yeah, Mega Man doesn't harm humans. In a lot of the original Mega Man games, the game ends with like Wily behind bars.
Yeah.
But he always escapes. Come on.
Well, then like give Dr. Light a machete or something. I mean, like go to end this, right?
My programming will not let me kill you, but it isn't stopping me from giving this scientist a machete.
We need a little less Batman. We need a little more the Punisher.
Like, I'm not sure, like, Dr. Light's, like, foresight is, like, amazing, but also just so strangely questionable that he's like, I'm going to make this Mega Man X robot. Well, I could make him, like, a lot better. In stages. But I'm just going to scatter, like, pre-programmed capsules everywhere. I don't want to make him, like, I mean, sure, Dr. Wily is working on this other evil robot, so I can make Mega Man strong enough to take him out right now, but
No.
maybe Wily will go into retirement early and he won't be tempted by all this power and just be like a regular robot.
Maybe he just didn't want to hand him everything. Maybe he's like, you know what? Mega Man will become a much stronger character if he has to find this on his own.
Expanding on that, I really like to think that he gets done with these upgrades and he's like, oh my God, what if he loses it all? I better make a few backups. 7 or 8 are to do it. I'll make each one slightly different. I made him a really hard helmet that breaks blocks this time. I'll give him a map in this one.
Here's a shitty map, bro. I've got a question for you guys. Are you familiar with / planning on getting Mighty Number 9?
Yes, I am. I'm
Oh, yeah.
100% planning on getting my number 9.
Have you? I backed it on Kickstarter, so I get like notifications that it's
yeah.
actually still happening, which is great. I think it's in beta right now.
I missed it. I really want to play it.
Whenever I found about it on Kickstarter, they weren't accepting any more donations, but yeah.
I feel like they kind of got the word out on that a little bit behind, because I remember finding out about it and like going to Kickstarter and being like, oh, I got to make a decision on this in like 10 hours, which is I usually need a lot more time than that for Kickstarter.
But they smash their goals. Like they just, every time they would add a new, like if we get here, we'll do this with it. They'd hit it. They'd hit another one.
Have you guys
hit
already
another one,
talked
hit
about
another
this?
one.
Not really. I mean, we may have
think
mentioned
so.
it briefly in the past, but it's Kaiji, the co-creator of Mega Man, left Capcom. I'm not sure exactly what the story is there. I hear it might have been on bad terms, but I don't know.
I hear
for
it's
sure.
kind of bad. Yeah.
I know they were. He talks about it. I know there are interviews posted. He's really delicate about how he talks about it. But yeah, he really felt like Mega Man was his property. Right. He was,
he created Mega Man.
Right. And then Capcom has the rights to it.
Right.
So they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do with it. So he basically says, fuck it, I'm going to create my own series. So,
and he creates a company called Concept, which I think is hilarious. And this is the project he's working on, Mighty Number 9. And it looks like Mega Man. Like, I mean, it's pretty much Mega Man.
Yeah.
And what's great about that is Capcom has pretty much abandoned Mega Man. Like, I mean, other than the most recent releases of the old school Nintendo style Mega Man, like what have they done with it?
they
did a huge dick move with Legends 3.
Yes.
Oh my
man.
God.
There's a huge fan base for Mega Man Legends. I'm a big fan of the Mega Man Legends series, it's a pretty big departure from the traditional Mega Man games. It's not platforming. It's
not jump and shoot, man.
Right. I don't think you even can jump in it. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time, but it's a third-person view adventure game. And you travel around. You got a town you can go to, ruins to explore, stuff like that. And it's a completely different story too. You are playing as Mega Man, but it's not the same Mega Man. It's I don't know if it's even in the same world. If it is, I think it's
like thousands of years later.
But
keep going back to that well. I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But great game. They've got Mega Man Legends and Mega Man Legends 2, and
Legend of Tron Bonne.
Yeah, and,
who I know through only because of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
But there's a huge fan base for these games, and I think they had started on the project and canceled it. And the fan base signed petitions, made a
they put out a petition saying we're having trouble with this. We'll only do this if you fans really want it.
And
crazy
just
support.
Overwhelming response. And then they were like,
Capcom blamed it on the fans. Said we just can't get enough support for this game. You guys don't want it badly enough, and canceled it.
Well, that's shitty.
So I don't know what the real story is, but it's a dick move by Capcom.
So I guess the moral of the story is
we're gonna make more Resident Evil spin-offs. No, we're good. We're gonna shelf Mega Man.
Turn horror. No. These are gonna be action games.
Actions, just really fast-paced, high adrenaline adventure games.
It looks really good. I would say check out Mighty Number 9 because it does look really good. It looks like Mega Man X to me. It did.
Yeah, and this is this guy's passion project.
Yeah,
too. So,
have you guys heard of Mega Ran? Are you guys familiar with Mega Ran?
I bought Mega Ran CD on iTunes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which one did you get?
I don't remember which one.
Did it have? There's one. He's done a lot of tracks like for Mega Man. Like I know like a Mega Man 25th anniversary album came out, and he's got like a couple tracks on there, and they're all really good.
Yeah, I really like Mega Ran.
He is really good nerdcore hip hop artist. If you haven't heard of him, definitely check him out because I fucking love his stuff. It's great. He even did like a Final Fantasy VII album too. That's a lot more orchestral than the Mega Man stuff. Because I mean, the Mega Man stuff's all like chip tunes in the background, and he's rapping over that. The Final Fantasy VII stuff is music from the game again, so it's already a little more symphonic. But he like is rapping as the characters, so it's really it's pretty cool.
Well, you guys, I've got some questions for you guys.
Okay, great.
I thought about doing a Mega Man quiz,
Yeah.
but I was like, that would just quickly evolve into which game was Gemini Man in, and what weapon did you get from Snake Man? Like it would evolve into a bad quiz pretty quickly that no one would know.
It'd be a quiz that maybe Josh could do, but I certainly couldn't do.
So instead, I was just like, what can I do a quiz over?
I think Gemini was in 4.
Is that right? Can we verify that?
I think you're probably right. But so it's like you're two of my best friends for like a decade or more now. So I was like, I think I could go a little bit narcissistic and do a Tyler quiz
man.
to give Josh and Dave.
God.
Man, we're gonna show how bad friends we really are.
No, this has no bearing on how good or bad a friend we are. All it is just, I mean, it is what it is, right? I hate to say that, but look, it doesn't matter how much I know about you. It just matters how I treat you, right? Let's just say that. Let's get that right out of the way out front. And
Because Phil knows a lot about me.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is my favorite comic strip?
That's Foxtrot,
Correct.
not
this
Marmaduke.
Okay. Yeah. So
What?
this is first person to answer, or what was this team?
No, we're a
effort?
team.
You're a
Okay.
team.
We're a team.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, we're both his friend.
It's the first video game I owned that was not included in the console purchase.
All right, this is a Josh
Ooh,
question.
I don't know about this.
Because you knew him. You probably knew him when he got this.
I don't think he did.
Oh, damn. Okay, read the question again.
It's the first video game I owned that did not come with a console. So I'm not counting like Mario or Super Mario or whatever. I'm not counting the first game.
Oh, he said
that
he
didn't
bought a
come with that was
Nintendo.
purchased.
Right, but
But
it was
he took it back,
returned,
so
so they
we don't-
probably didn't
yeah.
get any games with that. I'm trying to think. I think Tyler, you've actually mentioned this on the show. So a listener out there might know the answer, but I sure as hell don't remember. So it probably would have been a Super Nintendo game. I know.
Unless handheld shit. Is this including handheld games?
No, I had a console before I had a handheld game.
So it's going to be Super Nintendo, probably. And I know he had Super Punch Out, and I know he had F-Zero. I don't know if it's one of those two games or not. And his Super Nintendo came with Super Mario World. So what do you think?
I'm going to say Punch Out because
let's do Punch Out.
I bet your dad probably helped you pick that out too.
Okay. Well, wait. I'm trying to think if there was a story with buying Super Punch Out. I don't think there was. Oh, God. Oh, maybe there was, though. Fuck, I don't remember. Super Punch Out?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
This game, I thought you might get this because you have rebought this for me. Because when I bought my NES, they also got me one other game, A Boy and His Blob.
Oh, right, A Boy and His Blob. Damn it.
I never would have.
No, well.
Yeah.
What was my main in Diablo 2?
Amazon.
Correct. What do I say when someone asks me what my favorite color is?
Clear.
Correct. I don't have a favorite color, and I thought that answer was cute for a long time. Who's my first D&D character?
That's another Josh.
Yeah. Well, whenever I came in, you were playing Eldred Jonas.
Eldred
Okay,
Jonas
yeah.
is correct.
Okay.
And I feel like most people, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people, your first D&D character, you don't know how to create like more of an original concept. So you just find something you like at the time and kind of try to translate it. So I was really into the Gunslinger at the time, the Dark Tower series. So I made the failed Gunslinger Eldred Jonas in Ramon's game. Like
Yeah.
I know, Josh, you made...
Dakar, yeah, who is from Lufia too. Yeah, because you guys were telling me I could play a barbarian. I think you guys were wanting me to play a damage dealer. And I was like, can I use a great axe like Dakar does? Yeah, I'll just play Dakar.
Where's the car from? Josh looks around the table.
I was pretty well put on the spot here.
Spots a can of Mountain Dew. Mount Dew? All right, that's canon. That's in there. At what age did I lose my virginity?
I know what piece of furniture you lost it on.
It's in my living room.
Yeah.
15?
I would say 15 or 16.
Or 16.
I think it's 16 because I think it's like the ability to be mobile and shit. I think that helped out a lot to like drive around. I don't know.
Okay,
I would say
we'll do
16, but I'm not
16.
sure.
We'll do 16.
16 is correct.
Oh, phew. I know because there's it's written. He wrote it in Sharpie underneath that piece of furniture. It says 16. It's dated.
And I've got a sketch, a drawing of a busted cherry. Yeah. What was the first movie I saw in theaters?
Man, I don't know this.
Just like in general, just like whenever you're a kid.
Yeah.
Your mom,
I mean, I know you telling the story. The earliest movie I know that you've seen is Half
Mermaid.
Baked. I'm sure you probably saw other movies before that, because I think that's the only like movie story you may have told me is going to see Half Baked instead, or wanting to go see Half Baked.
but that was when he was older. Surely your parents took you to. Oh, your dad never watched a movie, did he?
He never watched a movie.
He would never watch a movie more than once.
Once.
Oh, I
okay.
see.
That's why I never saw Star
I'm
Wars.
gonna
'Cause he didn't
say-
want to see it again.
I'm gonna say it was probably a Disney movie whenever you were a kid. Little Mermaid, is that where you got your boob fetish? The little clamshell boobs.
I think Little Mermaid's a little late, isn't
Is
it?
it? I
Because
don't-
like
I
Tyler
don't
was
know.
probably like,
I don't know the dates. the Disney.
oh, I've got it memorized, Josh.
I remember. I just remember. My mom took me to see Little Mermaid, and I went like I left crying because Ursula scared the shit out of me. So if I was 16 at the time, I guess. But
Meanwhile, Tyler's getting fucked on his couch. You're crying in the Little Mermaid.
Josh just runs out to his car and starts just drives off.
Driving off, masturbating to the Speed Racer techno. I gotta get rid of this pain. I don't know. Little Mermaid. Let's go with Little Mermaid. Let's lock it in.
Incorrect. It's Hook.
Hook.
yeah.
It's a Disney movie.
Yep.
Who is my current Smash Brothers main?
Princess.
Correct.
You do Dr. Mario a lot though too.
My bonus question was for what was my Super Smash Brothers Melee main?
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
I don't know the difference between any of the games. Like I really like when someone says Smash Brothers, it's just like my response is which one? Because I can't remember like which one Melee was on, which one Brawl was on. Like I love that the one on the 3DS is just called Super Smash Brothers 3DS. You don't got to remember any like weird shit for another word for fight.
Yeah.
Because we know you'll get it fucking confused.
I just assume they're talking about the current one.
Yeah.
Whenever they, it's
Smash Brothers.
What was my class in Phantasy Star Online?
Bo Newman.
That was
Is that where that comes from?
Yes, that is what that email comes
Wow.
from. My old email address was Faux Newman. What does Faux Newman stand for, though?
I know they're like altered humans, but I don't remember what the.
I think Faux
Proper
Newman
feminine.
counts, but Force Newman was
Force
what they were
Newman,
called.
okay.
They were the pure magic race.
I never played that game. I hear it's still going, according to Josh an hour ago.
Sex or blowjobs?
Sex.
Sex.
Sex is correct.
Was that a question?
You guys,
Are you offering?
don't hope you guys say blowjobs.
You guys passed sex and blowjobs.
'Cause I know we've had that talk before, Dave. You're like, oh, man, you gotta go with a blowjob. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, when it's offered, you got to go with it. I mean, you just got to go with it. I mean, you don't have to worry about doing anything. You're just like, you don't have to worry about. It's just like, you know what? This is a stress-free sexual act.
See, it makes me feel guilty. Like I'm sure it's like this is a lot of work for you, and I'm just sitting here. Like the least I can do is like try to be quick about it, but then I get in my head and it just does not work out.
What if you earned it? Like, what if you did something really good for her earlier
Josh,
that day?
at no point does a woman ever owe you a sexual act.
He's got you there, Josh. He does have you there.
I have no response. I can't.
Shut down. I think
you are right, Tyler. Thank you for enlightening me.
I think what Josh is saying is, what if you've been a really good boy today? Would you feel less guilty? Or you're leaning back and you're like, you know what? I did paint some trim today. That was pretty good. I feel like maybe I shouldn't feel so bad about
I ate a
this.
salad instead of cookies.
Yeah.
I deserve this.
Man, that is one surefire way to put my ass on a diet. If Nikki's like, you know what? Shave 500 calories off every day and give you a blowjob. All right, done.
You guys did really, really well at that. Knocked that out of the park.
Yeah, I feel bad about missing the hook question. I feel like we probably could have got that if we would have worked on it a little bit longer.
I don't feel bad about getting the video game question. I don't think I would have. After hearing the answer, it's probably not one that I would ever guessed.
It's probably one, if I thought about it for a while, A Boy and His Blob would have made it on my list, but I never would have been 100% sure the answer to that.
Because I rented it for a while, and then my parents got tired of renting it for me, so we bought it.
Does anyone have any
And
achievements for this game? Sorry to interrupt you. Sounds like you were
Oh,
gonna say-
shit, I didn't even do that. Okay.
I've got a couple.
Yeah?
Go ahead, Josh.
Okay, high tech which is you kill one of the flail fighters. There are enemies in the game that use a ball and chain and carry a shield. Yeah. So you kill one of those, you get high tech. And then I've got If It Ain't Broke, and that's to kill, I don't know if they're METs or METs, how you pronounce it, but there's little construction hard hat little enemies that are in every single Mega Man game. They just duck underneath their hard hat and then pop up and shoot you with something. If you kill one of those, you get If It Ain't Broke.
Do you think it's slang for helmet? It's like Mets.
Yeah.
One of those Mets over there. Or maybe like a derogatory term. They're like, look at those Mets. All they do is just sit around waiting for Mega Man to run up. Then they pop out and shoot him. They got it easy. And then they go right back under their helmet. Meanwhile, I'm flying around. He's shooting at me. I don't know what to do.
They're the cockroaches of the Mega Man games because they're all over the place. They're in every single Mega Man game and they don't change. They're like perfect already.
Well, yeah, because this takes place like 100 years after the Mega Man series, and they're exactly the same. I've got an achievement called something about Oswald Cobblepot because I wasn't able to come up with anything. So,
I was thinking about a Mr. Freeze, like the Arnold
chill out.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I worked on it for like 2 or 3 minutes. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Something about Oswald Cobblepot. And that in order to unlock that, you beat Chill Penguin. I also have a second achievement called What's Wrong With You, Rafiki? And in order to unlock What's Wrong With You, Rafiki, you have to defeat Spark Mandrill without taking any damage. Because that's what a Mandrill is. Never knew beforehand. But a Spark Mandrill is a robot Rafiki from the Lion King. And then my third achievement I came up with, just as you were talking earlier about Boba Fett, and it's called Jango Fett Unchained. In order to unlock Jango Fett Unchained, you have to beat Vile as Mega Man X.
I've got, and you unlock.
By expecting a sexual favor from a woman. That's the creepy laugh you make.
You owe me this.
I took you to Red Lobster.
There's these flying red robots that after they hit you, they then fly back up and you see them laugh because their eyes and their lights flash and their mouths kind of move like they're laughing at you because they actually hit you. When you get killed by one of those, that unlocks.
I love that. And I love that you brought that up because I've actually got in my notes, but I completely forgot as we were talking about it. One of my favorite like regular robot enemies in the game is this. I love it. They're these robot lumberjacks and they're cutting down these ever-growing robot trees. But it's like they were programmed to do two things, and both are meaningless. First meaningless thing, cut down an ever-growing robotic tree. Second thing, laugh occasionally. He just chops the tree and just giggles about it. I love it.
See, then I've also got original is best, and that is when you beat all the robots with the Mega Buster.
All right.
And then, that is my best Arnold Schwarzenegger. And because whenever you freeze Spark Mandrill and he breaks out, he looks very like Schwarzenegger.
Sounds like someone took Arnold Schwarzenegger to Red Lobster.
I owe you this.
Arnold Schwarzenegger always owes you.
One thing I did want to mention that I forgot to about the mechanics of this game, and you see this a lot in the original series, and I think a lot more in X2 and 3, but I feel like they did a much better job in Mega Man X at the way the rate at which your special ability. Which in every Mega Man game, you beat a Robot Master, you get his special ability. You have a finite amount of that resource. Every time you use it, it depletes a little bit of your power. But I feel like in this game, it doesn't use that much of your power. It doesn't discourage you so much from using it. Now, some abilities use more than others, but it's still enough that you can use it fairly liberally
Throughout the level?
Right,
Yeah.
and where I feel like in the other games, they sort of punish you. Like there's a couple abilities that take up like a quarter of your power bar every time you shoot it. So you're always trying to save it, and then whenever you finally get a chance, you just never do. So
Well, yeah, because you've got less practice with it, right?
Right,
Because it's like
yeah.
one of those things where it's like, it sucks because I don't like using the Robot Master's abilities because it's one of those things where it's like, I want to save it for the boss. And then when I get to the boss, it's like, oh shit, I don't know how to use this. I don't have no idea what this thing does.
I feel like they did a really good job in this about balancing that.
I
out.
agree. I
So-
think that's a really good point.
It's the first game too where you can charge your buster to the point that it will alter the boss's weapon to another stage.
Oh, I see. So like the Robot Master's weapon will change.
You can
you can
when you
charge
get
them up, yeah.
Zero's blaster, you charge it up all the way, it'll have a different effect. Like the Armor Armadillo's weapon normally is just a rolling sphere. When you overcharge it, it then becomes a protective shield around you that when easy enemies bump into you, they automatically die. Each
That
weapon
is
has
really
something
cool.
different.
I love that. I love secondary features on weapons. Like I think that just adds so much depth to the game, just like right off the bat, because that's how you interact with the world in Mega Man through your weapons.
And it's that specific ability that I mentioned is very, very handy for whenever you're doing these platform jumps and these enemies are spawning to the left and right and flying at you from off the screen. That ability comes in very, very handy. Then had you not known about it, had you had you been afraid to use it and not experiment with it, you would have never known about that.
And so this was such a strong foot forward for the series coming into a new console.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It, just a definitive step forward for like the whole series. It changed everything in a good way.
What do you think about its placement on IGN's list, which we've decided is 12, right?
Yes.
Anywhere
We have decided on IGN's list it's 12.
anywhere between 10 and 20, I feel is an appropriate place for this game.
That's the bracket.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. It's kind of tough for me because I feel like we've just come off of some games that have been really good. Like I'm put in a weird situation because once again, like if I look at Mega Man X versus Earthbound, like I'd kind of rather play Earthbound, honestly. And when it's like
Me too.
between Final Fantasy 2 and Mega Man X, it's kind of I've got such a strong connection to Final Fantasy that it's difficult for me to be like, yeah, this is Mega Man's definitely a better game. So it's tough. But yeah, I agree with you. I think anywhere between 10 and 20, I think would be a good home for Mega Man X.
And I know you mentioned this early on in the episode. This is the highest ranked of the series, but it is the best.
It
of
is
the
the best
series,
one.
which it does look kind of odd at a first glance. You see the 2 and 3 are lower on the list, but yeah, I mean it is correct. This is no, I wouldn't say much better game. Those are definitely good games.
The others are clearly sequels they needed
right.
to put out. So
Yeah.
they didn't put as much effort and polish into. They just needed to get a game out.
Oh, man. I think I would say it's much better than 3. I really
Oh,
would.
yeah. This is way better than
3.
3.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2. Which
Two had its good points,
Yeah.
but I feel like this was a big project. Like so, they really put a lot of work into Mega Man
Yeah,
X.
there's some polish in it for sure.
But yeah, I feel like this is pretty well placed about right.
Had a lot of fun today talking about Mega Man X
Yeah.
with you guys. I've got some important questions, mainly for Tyler. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game, let's just say a beard that summed up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would you give it?
This is some low hanging fruit, but I feel like it's appropriate.
Excellent.
The fluffy white beard of Dr. Light.
Have you given that before?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
Now, is this
If not, I will say the fluffy white beard of Santa Claus.
Okay.
is this the holographic image of the transparent,
oh, no, this
light
is-
blue transparent?
This is legit.
The real
beard.
deal. The luxurious white fluff.
Like I could have given X3 like a fake, the robotic beard, but no, this is a real legit fluff beard.
I love it. What do you think his beard smells like, Tyler?
Peppermints and motor oil.
How much? Like, what's the ratio of peppermint to motor oil?
More peppermint.
okay.
Because his mouth is right there by his beard. He's only
right.
just around. I feel like Dr. Light is more of a software guy than a hardware guy.
He's just crunching down on peppermint, just chugging 20 ounce motor oil. He likes to live dangerously. Don't tell anybody, but He thinks he's a robot.
I'll be one day.
Just a mouthful of batteries just chomping down on
I'll be Peppermint Man. Crunch, crunch.
Tyler, if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that just told the world how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give this, because they're solid glasses and they are a nerd's glasses. I give them Jason Fox's glasses.
Okay. All right. That's an interesting pair of glasses. I dig it. Got one more question for you, and that is, how much is this game on Amazon? Josh, you can play too. What I want to know is, how much is this game used on Amazon?
$23.
Yeah, I was gonna say
$23?
I was gonna say 30. So I'll go 33.
$23 from Tyler, $33 from Josh. Actual retail value of Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo on Amazon, used at the time of this recording, was $32.99. Sir, you're within 1 cent. That means you're going to the final showcase showdown.
Even if it was over?
What?
Is that the rule even if you're over?
Oh, you did say 33. I'm sorry.
come on.
Oh, yeah, Tyler's right. I was going to just give it to you. What the fuck? Nope, sorry. You lose. You're so close, though. You're so close. So, Tyler, you win.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you owe me something for that.
I feel like you owe me a really good Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
To the Bay Biscuits. Oh, and Dick.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
But I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It smells weird in here now.
We're running close on time, so let's blast through this.
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher. So don't miss the next game we'll be talking about. Next Original Flavor Wednesday. Maybe part 1, maybe the whole thing.
I think we got to break
see how
it.
goes.
I think we got to break it into 2
down.
parts. I really do.
IGN's 11th ranked game, Secret of Mana. And next Original Flavor Wednesday will be, not original, I just said that. So Other Shit Monday will be another edition of the
Something.
Ready Player One series.
Be something.
Something from it. We really like 5-star iTunes reviews. They help us out a lot. I feel like that's what's responsible for our little growth spurt we've had last few weeks. So we want to keep that going. So really be beneficial if you go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star written review, and we'll sweeten that deal for you just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's a game you want us to play, include that in there. If there's a guest host you want on a certain episode, include that in there. If you want an emergency contact that's probably just going to leave you dying in a ditch, or an alibi that is not going to hold up in court, try it.
They
Just
might,
try
though.
it.
They might.
They might. We don't know.
We can't guarantee it.
Judges are crazy.
Judges be crazy.
But at least whatever you put in there, we promise we will get to it eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about all kinds of shit. It's going to be like secrets. There's going to be mana involved. There's also going to be some players who are ready. There might be 1 or they might be 2. Probably 1. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. I don't know what we'll have in this one. Maybe some like Red Lobster commercials. I don't know. Peppermint Man? We can probably find Peppermint Man on the internet. He probably exists. It's probably a guy. So look at us there. Look at us.
Just look at us. Just look at us.
Please. You can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There are a lot of cool people there, and they're doing a lot of cool shit. We'll have a post to this episode there. So if you listen to it and you have some feedback, that's an excellent place to give it. You can find us on Twitter if you want. We are at tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Thank you for everyone who is retweeting and tagging us in your tweets and including us when you're talking to friends. That really helps, so we really do appreciate it. You can call us if you want. We do like to answer questions. Try to keep them under 3 minutes if you can. And video game related is great, although we are extremely open to Ninja Turtle questions as well. You can call us at 270-883-2555. You can text us as well if you want at that number if you feel a little weird calling. But I got to be honest, I prefer the calls because I like hearing your voice. I always feel like when I'm reading them, I feel like maybe I'm not giving them the
Texts
proper...
are hard to convey the meaning.
Yeah, and also, but if you, after all of that, you still decide to text, make absolute certain that you include a colon in that text. That's how we'll know that you're a real Tadpog listener.
Thanks for coming on, Josh.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for having me.
What's our theme song?
It's the Speed Racer porn mix, right?
Yeah.
It is now. As of this episode, yep.
That would be Moves by Sycamore Drive.
He did that too?
Yeah. You can find it at the show notes on tadpog.com.
It's good. We're all
Josh-
going to do the Josh voice?
Josh is here, so we can't do the Josh voice. Do we do the Nicole voice?
I don't think she's going to take that well, Tyler.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Oh, you're just doing it
It's
so
very-
that if
it's very
Josh does the
stern.
Nicole voice, then it gives her full right to do the Josh voice, right? I see. I like this. This Game of Thrones politicking that's going
The
on.
Nicole voice, it's very quiet and kind of turn.
All right, so we're going to do that. Josh, you in?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right, fair enough. I mean, we could all do it like robots. How about that? That seems fitting.
So I guess we just do regular flamboyant Brandon.
Yeah, I guess.
I can always
let's-
go for some fun boy.
You don't like my robot idea? You
Flamboyant
want to do it like
Brandon.
a robot?
I didn't even hear that. Did you like a robot?
Yeah,
Okay.
do
Yeah,
like
let's
a
do it.
robot.
Okay. So until next time.
Capricorn. Man, I think I just died a little inside.
Well, we all had different robot
I know.
voices. You don't like squeeze
that
them
off.
No, I
or
don't
anything?
squeeze them, but I wouldn't say that I do a light graze. I would say that it's more of a fondle.
Fondle.
Okay, my fig log is Josh's balls.
No, not happening. You can just use
how
your
do you-
imagination.
It's like
that
fingertips.
Handle animal? Okay.
Yeah, it's like fingertips. She doesn't like.
See, that's all right there.
I
That's
don't
okay.
care of what's going on because I don't just use my fingertips. I think that you don't even have any
You
like
hardly
feeling
ever-
down there.
You can do them like
You don't do a lot of ball.
those Chinese steel balls.
Occasionally.
Very rarely.